lined up 2x2, ready to go for 20 laps. Out of turn 4, green flag flies. Down they come on the outside. Your leader will be Mike McDowell down into turn 1. The 29 of Bob Duzlak Jr. right there on his back bumper. To 94, Todd Parent rides third. Down to the inside now comes the 66 of Sam LaValle. Around goes Parent. We got him stacking up on the backstretch now. Melee midway down the backstretch as Todd Parent gets out of shape. And the rest of the field piles in on the back chute. We got a whole bunch of cars involved over there. We'll get a report on drivers and cars just as soon as we can. Cars starting to pull away. The 60 John Hughes with the number 8, 145 of Donnie Denyu, to 57 of Rick Ingersoll, the 273 of Dave Strebel. And we're ready to go back to green. Out of turn 4, green flag flies. Down across the stripe comes number 443 of Mike McDowell. McDowell going to bring him up through turn 1 and 2. Second place cars to 29 of Bob Duzlak Jr. And they roll out of turn 2 down that long backstretch. Back in third spot's the 66 of Sam LaValle. Riding back in fourth, the 43 of Brian Formel. Fifth spot, currently the 29 of Mark Lathrop. As they wheel it up through turns 3 and 4. Off of turn 4, lap number 1 goes in the books. Score up for the 443 of Mike McDowell. As now breaking into the top 5s, the 781 of Phil Sherman. The Sherman tank on a roll towards the front, rides in 5th position now. As Phil Sherman slides in front of the 26 of Mark Lathrop. Now going to go to work on the back deck of the 43 of Brian Formel. Brian Formel rides up in that 4th spot. 5th position is Sherman. Your leader down the front stretch once again. Across the stripe is the 443 of Mike McDowell. Second place car to 29 of Bob Duzlak Jr. Sam LaValle continues to ride back there in 3rd. Sherman riding in 4th spot. 5th position to 43 of Formel. Then we find the 26 of Lathrop, Danny Sanchez. Here comes Jay Casey on a roll towards the front now. Casey working down the bottom side of the speedway, and he getting through turn 3 and 4 pretty quick down there as they make their way up down the front stretch. Gonna race them full wide down the front stretch. Danny Sanchez, a little bit of contact, but he moves up into the 5th spot. Danny Sanchez cracks the top 5 for the first time, and now he's going to have to put up with Lathrop on the inside. Now Jay Casey going to aim that 322 towards the front. Jay Casey on the inside of Lathrop makes the pass for 6th position. He pulls up there into turn 3 as they make their way up through that west end banking once again. McDowell moving around the slower cars. They make their way down to turn 1. Phil Sherman is going to try and make a charge up towards the inside as he works on the inside of Sam LaValle. LaValle going to try and get ahead of steam as they work their way down the backstretch. But Phil Sherman now moves into 3rd, and we got a car going around over in turn 2. Teddy Ruscott with the 99 down to the inside. Looks like he made contact with the 43 at Formel. And another in the pits right now. But we're ready to go back to green. 4 laps complete. We're ready to go. Down out of turn 4, ready to go back to green. Green flag flies. And Bob Duzlak Jr. going to lead them down across the stripe. The yellow lights come back on around the speedway. So the yellow lights come on, and Warscott once again. Reason for the caution, the 29 of Bob Duzlak Jr. got on it just a little bit too quick, and that saved the day for La Rochelle. He's tacked back onto the rear. Green flag flies, a thumbs up by Jay Beverwick this time, and they go back to green. Down into turn 1 is Mike McDowell. He's your leader. Bob Duzlak Jr. pasted right on the back bumpers. They come down the front chute, now down the back stretch. He rides in 2nd spot. Phil Sherman up to 3rd. 4th spot is the 322 of Jay Casey. Rounding up to top 5 is the 107 of Bobby Guile. That's your top 5 as they wheel it up through turn 3 and 4. Off of turn 4, down the front chute they come. The 29 of Duzlak losing a little bit of ground now to the 443 of Mike McDowell. McDowell taking that high road up here through turn 1 and 2. We've got single file racing back through the top 5. Then we go back to your 6th place car. That's the 16 of Lou Cardella. 7th place is the 273 of Dave Strebel. Then Mark Lathrop rides back in 8th. 9th spot is the 8 of John O'Neill. Rounding out your top 10 on his way back up through is the 41 of Rich Colasani. Up through 1 and 2 now. Down to the inside of 781 of Phil Sherman. Going to drop down low on Duzlak. They're going to drag race down the backstretch, but Duzlak with horsepower going to hold off Sherman as they make their way down into turn 3. Duzlak on a high road. Now Sherman going to drop right down low, almost to the flat spot on the speedway as they work their way up through turn 3 and 4. Off of turn 4, that's going to allow Jay Casey to take that high road, and Casey trying to make his way by Sherman. Duzlak all the way up, makes contact with the wall. Duzlak going to lose 3 spaces as he comes off of turn 2, and that's going to move Jay Casey in the second spot. Jay Casey, your second place runner now. Here comes Lou Cardella down to the inside. Cardella to slide for life in front of Phil Sherman, and Cardella's going to slide up in the third position. He takes third spot as they make their way down the front chute. Now Phil Sherman set back there to battle with the 107 of Bobby Guile. And Bob Duzlak Jr. trying to get back into the fray. Duzlak all the way up to the marbles once again. Rooster tail off of turn 2. Down the back chute they run. Single file once again all the way back through 7th position as they work their way up through turn 3 and 4. Now Rich Colasani has broken free from those other cars. He'll try and run down one of these lead packs as they work their way out of turn 4. Your 4th place car, Phil Sherman, starting to feel a little bit of heat from Bobby Guile. Bobby Guile right there in 5th spot. Now Dave Strebel going to duck down to the inside of Bobby Guile, going to try and get a run off of him off of turn 2, but Guile is strong to the challenge. He continues to ride back there in that 5th spot. Strebel in 6th, Duzlak in 7th. Right there in 8th spot is the 41 of Rich Colasani. Now Paul LaRochelle back to 9th, and the 8 of John O'Neill rounds out the top 10. Halfway point has been displayed. 10 laps down, 10 to go here in the Rupp Reynolds Street Stock Feature event. Down the back chute they run. Your leader's the 443 of Mike McDowell. But watch the space between him and the second place car of Jay Casey. That space is narrowing each and every lap. Casey running them down under green here. Jay Casey starting to pick away at the lead of McDowell. Into turn 1, Jay Casey going to close it up to just about 3 car lengths as they work their way down through turn 1 and 2. Built up to the outside now of Jeff Kelmo with the 118 slower automobile. Jay Casey, full head of steam, going to pull up a little bit closer here to McDowell. McDowell going to tiptoe off of turn number 4 down the front chute. Casey starting to pick away at that lead. Your front 2 cars across the stripe. Back in 3rd spot is the 16 of Lou Cardella. 4th position of 107 of Bobby Guile. Right behind him, 5th spot is the 781 of Phil Sherman. That's your top 5. 6 places a side-by-side battle between Dave Strebel and Bob Duzlak Jr. Direct your attention back to the front up here between turn 3 and 4, where Jay Casey has now narrowed the margin to just over 1 car length. Off of turn 4 down the front chute, Casey can see that back deck of Mike McDowell. McDowell up through turn 1 and 2 once again, holding his groove. Going to make Jay Casey work for it to try and catch him. And with 13 laps complete, the last thing McDowell needs is a caution. Actually, Jay Casey with a good rhythm up here through turn 3 and 4. It looks like that's where he's making up a lot of ground as they work their way down off of turn 4 once again. Another good run down the front stretch. Casey's watching that lap counter as he makes his way up into turn 1. McDowell and Casey run 1-2. Lou Cardella all by himself back there in 3rd. Then we go back to 4th spot, the 107 of Bobby Guile. 5th position, still the 781 of Phil Sherman. Your leaders coming up on a slower car, the 57 of Rick Ingersoll. This could come into play. Ingersoll in the front stretch. Down the front chute they come. The leaders take the high groove. McDowell goes in a little bit deeper than he had been. Now to 32 of Casey. Going to try and crank it up off of turn 2. We're within the last 5 laps here. 5 laps remaining in this Rupp Reynolds Street Stock Feature event. All eyes are riveted on the point right now. McDowell going to slip behind just a little bit once again. Jay Casey going to let it drift out. Trying to run them down as they work their way off of turn 4 down the front chute. Now up into turn 1. Lou Cardella is starting to catch your leaders now with only 4 laps complete. Orv Hume's the next car to be passed by the lead car of Mike McDowell, as McDowell has now pulled out just a little bit more breathing space on the second place car of Casey. Cardella continues to ride back there in 3rd. 4th place car is still the 107 of Bobby Guile. Your 5th place car is the 781 of Phil Sherman. Clear sailing in front of your leaders now. It's all theirs to battle it out here in the last 3 laps. As nobody in front of him, Mike McDowell going to try and hold on for the win. And the $100 bonus put up by Rupp Reynolds. Rupp Reynolds dangling $100 on the top of the purse here for tonight's Street Stock Feature event winner. 2 lap to go sign now being displayed for Mike McDowell as he wheels it down into turn 1. trying to hold that line as smooth as he can. Jay Casey holding right there on second spot. But starting to see the 443 starting to make a little more space between himself and the second place car. Off of turn 4, this time by, the white flag will be displayed. There it is, 1 lap to go for Mike McDowell. As Jay Casey rides right there in second, Lou Cardella in third. Top 3 cars up here in the east end banking now, making their way off of turn 2. Final lap, less than 1/2 lap to go here in the Rupp Reynolds Street Stock Feature event. Off of turn 4, your leader making his way down, keeping an eye back in that battle for 5th position. As we've got 3 cars right together for 5th. Mike McDowell is going to win it. Jay Casey comes across the line second. Your 3rd place car is the 16 of Louis Cardella. 4th place car is Bobby Guile. Take a look at the race for 5th as Phil Sherman takes it, followed by the 781 of Paul LaRochelle and the 41 of Rich Colasani. So there you have, making his way down into victory lane, helmet off, unstrapped from the race car, making his way out is your winner of tonight's Street Stock Feature event is Mike McDowell. Mike had a